go with the combo.
Looking at the way the team, when everyone is fit, what that team is, it's call the ambulance, but not for me situation.
Pain of Captain Martin, because he's actually also playing for Sporting. He's an Arsenal fan. He's got an Arsenal tattoo on his arm. It was right underneath the captain armband. So the guy, yeah.
It's like that transition from defense to attack is like art. It's like art,
Sure, even though you have your Sporting cap, you also have your Arsenal heart. And you're not trying to bump up his price for us before we buy him, so you have some money. Yes, winning a Premier League and a Champions League in the next 3 to 4 years.
Yes, full stop.
Yo, welcome everyone. So we've got Jay Nova today, a special guest, and our co-host, Dab, the sweet voice of the airwaves.
Thanks for having us. Crazy business of football. Nice to have Jay Nova in the house. Manin Gunners, shout out Mozambican Gunners group.
Yeah, man.
We always have to give them a shout out. Yeah,
shout out.
Mr. João Nuno, Mr. Jay Nova is an Arsenal fan, but also a Sporting fan. So he had his heart on one side green and the other side red. So
yeah,
how did the game feel for you yesterday?
Yeah, I actually can see I got the Scudero on the heart, the Sporting on the hay. Gotta go with the combo. My Portuguese side, when I started finding out about football, Sporting was the first team I started supporting. And then afterwards, when I saw Arsenal play, I fell in love, man. Those quick plays back in the late 90s, I was like, yeah, this team can play. Since then, Gunners. So yesterday's match was special, but hey, this one was too one-sided, man. I enjoyed because Arsenal, they played really well, man. They did the homework. They just locked the game down. Sporting had no answer. It's a new coach, okay, whatever, but no answer to that pressure. And Arsenal played like they didn't need a striker. They played really well. Everybody, numbers forward, yeah.
You give me the impression that you're a guy who loves tactics.
I get a bit of tactics, but I learned as I went through football, Because earlier it was more like the show, and I get that. I used to be more like that, but as you go, like tactics start playing a bigger role, and you see the coaches, they evolved, and there's a strong foundation in defense now. I think Arsenal defensively, I noticed yesterday, Sporting couldn't do shit. They couldn't do anything.
Gyökeres looked like he couldn't score a goal. Is he ready to be a gunner? Have we been fooled? What's going on there?
There was one game, man. I noticed it between us, it was like Gyökeres failed. Shumbo. I don't know if the guy underestimated. He didn't do his homework and respect Saliba and Gabriel and Timber. He was wasting too many balls, possession. That's a thing he has to work on a lot, Gyökeres. He's good when he has space to run, but if he's got a defender that sticks to him, he loses a lot of balls. He use his body, go as a pivot, pass it back, find another space. He should be more, aware in those kind of plays. He did that in the first Sporting game, but there was no Saliba and Gabriel around there. That was the Lille game, and Lille has been doing okay in the Champions League after that game, but he was playing like. Okay, what's Amorim back then? They seemed more fluid. João Pereira had no answer, man. The guy, he didn't change the tactics. He was just pressure. 3 goals first half. That was over, man. That was over. But I enjoyed watching Arsenal. It's like I switched my head. I was like, okay, Sporting is getting it. And Arsenal also was on a mission because they had 7 points, no? They needed those 3 points, man. Sporting on 10. They leveled.
Sporting have been doing so well this season, unbeaten until now, right? Obviously, it's a shock to them of what happened yesterday. But in my opinion, you can't judge a player like Gyökeres based on that one game. I mean, Saliba and Gabriel are 2 of the best centre-back pairings in world football. I think it's them 2 and probably Van Dijk and Konate who are probably the best defensive pairing. And Gyökeres is still a young player. I think strikers only get in their prime around 28. 27, 28, around there. If someone asked me today, would you be happy with him at Arsenal? Of course I'll be happy with him at Arsenal, and knowing Mikel Arteta, I think is someone that would work on him, try and get the best out of him.
Yeah.
Is he worth 100 million? No. He's not worth 100 million. No ways. No, 100 million. If he's worth 100 million, he would have slaughtered Gabriel and Saliba yesterday, or at least given them serious problems, and at least have gotten 2 goals in the back of the net. Just my opinion. Again, my opinion. I don't think he's worth 100.
I get it.
Probably 60, but not 100. I think maybe around the 60 mark.
65. Havertz cost 65.
Havertz cost 65, and he's Champions League winner, by the way. Just won Champions League. So, yeah. That also.
So are you saying Havertz is better?
Plays in. No, it's not about Havertz is better. I'm talking about the market. Champions League with Chelsea, and he scored the goal that won them the Champions League. So that when agents start negotiating, that then they send in those DVDs or those tapes, or that MP4 to the clubs or whatever with the whole package. That's what they put there as like the highlights. So I really think I would definitely take Gyökeres at Arsenal like tomorrow. I can't judge a player based on one game. You can judge a player on seasons, and he's been consistent. He's been good. What he did to Man City. I mean, even though Man City, you can say that they wouldn't have their best players and so forth, but it's still Man City. They have no excuse.
Yeah.
And I think he can be a fantastic addition to us if that's the case. If it does happen, because we've got Havertz, but we do need competition for Havertz, and you can't rely on Havertz the whole season. And we need to look at different ways of playing.
Would you rather get him or get Isak?
Isak or Gyökeres, the 2 Swedish players. The thing is, I think I still stand behind Gyökeres' price tag, because that guy, what I've seen him do this last season and a half, I would say, he's just a bit of a late bloomer and rough on the edges. But I see him on the hands of a good coach, like Arteta or any other big team. He can do a lot of damage. He just has to have that mindset of like, it's not just me, I'm the big boy here, let me just take this into my own hands. He does that a bit in Sporting. Sometimes he can pass the ball. He does get a lot of assists, but you see him sometimes he goes for it himself. Like you see
he did that yesterday.
Just gets blocked or whatever. He doesn't get a decent shot. So I still stand behind this price tag, because Sporting, they're trying to rise the value of the market of the main players, because we've been selling.
That's what I was gonna say. Huh? Make sure you have, even though you have your Sporting cap, you also have your Arsenal heart. You're not trying to bump up his price for us before we buy him, so you have some money.
No, but the thing is, it won't be only Arsenal behind to go to Isak or Gyökeres. Isak, I think he's a forward. Gyökeres is a striker. Isak can, go from the wings, and yes, he's a baller. His dribbling skills can compete with Gyökeres. Gyökeres is like a finisher. Yeah, just a guy that his radar is like the goal, baliza. Isak, still the goal that lives in my mind, like rent-free, like you said, is that the one that goes on the side and dribbles like humiliation style, like 3 or 4 defenders, and gives an assist. I think it was a season 2 ago. The goal was crazy. That's when I saw with Isak. Okay, this guy's really good.
So sorry. So which one? That's the question.
I think we need Gyökeres is what we need more, but Isak is a lot of quality. Like, you can't deny. How much would you go for?
I think it will depend if Newcastle get Champions League or not, in terms of, because I think you'll force the move for sure, especially if they don't get. Are you able to check there, Fabi, how much Newcastle bought him for?
He did go for 70 million, but his record, by the way, for the season
70.
was 23 goals. Since HC likes Carabao Cup, I'm including his 1 goal for the Carabao Cup there,
Yes,
I normally
Carabao,
discount
baby.
Carabao Cup goals. For me, they mean nothing.
Yeah. I think to answer your question, Fabio, I got Nuno's opinion, which I agree with. I think either or would work at Arsenal, let's be honest. But I think that who would fit the system more right now would be Isak. Also with that Premier League experience. I'm just looking at how Arteta kind of likes having players that can play in different positions. I think Isak from the wings in some games, that rotation, you see some of our players also rotating quite a bit. Like Trossard will sometimes go to the middle, sometimes go to the side, Martinelli as well. Like, they move around quite a lot. So I think he would fit that system much easier. But Gyökeres, that's the thing. It's like, can we also have a plan B, plan C? I keep bringing up Odegaard because how can you not? But we've seen when we play without him, it's dog shit. We played with him yesterday. That first half, that first half was like champagne football. Man,
Yeah. Saka play even better.
Yeah.
It's like we're a whole different team, huh? With Odegaard in it versus when we play without him. It's two different teams. Like Arsenal Dark Arts, FC 442, really stodgy, doing like I see David Moyes when Arteta plays without Odegaard. Yesterday, the way we played, I was like, this is Arsenal. Like, yeah, there we go, just because of one player.
Just adding to that, I think something I noticed yesterday, look, not only yesterday, but was evident yesterday because a lot of the players were not injured. And what I noticed is that like Arteta, when he has, especially when Odegaard's back in the team or in the system, it's like that transition from defense to attack is like art. It's like art, and like that guy is a warrior, man. Like yesterday, I think was like the game where I like was like, yeah, okay, like Timber, we got a real one for sure. Like, and I just think that back four, Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, having that solid back four, in my opinion, is the reason why we won 5-1. Like having that solid defensive, stability. Those guys were like shutting down not only Gyökeres, they were comfortable with Edwards when Edwards was like with the ball, and Edwards is a tricky player, for Sporting. They just were comfortable, and they knew what they all wanted to do. It was just so seamless the way it went forward. Everyone just knows what to do, like the positions. It's just wonderful to watch, But it's amazing how you take one piece out and it completely like becomes this rigid system.
Did you notice a tactical change? Because, Calafiori normally has had that like free role where he can just run around wherever he wants. Yesterday, there was none of that. Huh? I think Arteta did do the homework on Sporting because yesterday, Calafiori, that's the most like defensively disciplined I think we've seen him play. And then Odegaard was the one who was like, yo, you do you, man. Just occupy space. It actually did make me think, seeing how well he played, made me realize maybe why Arteta doesn't start Nwaneri as much. Because I know like I want Nwaneri to start because like I'm like, this guy is ready. He's ready in terms of attack, but is he ready for like our build-up and to do what Odegaard was doing? What were we missing to play champagne football? Is it just the one player?
Yesterday's game, Arsenal's right side, because you mentioned Timber, Saka, and Odegaard is usually like leaning towards that side a lot. They just destroy that side. And Sporting afterwards, okay, you can go, I should have started with this player, but okay, that's what you do. Treinadores bancada, like we say. Just on the sideline, like, yeah, you should have done this. But yeah, we have like a more pragmatic left defender that plays central or on the side because of three at the back. And so should have been Mateo Reis or Jenny Catano. But that Maxi guy, what Saka did to him, and that was not cool, man.
When he put him on the floor.
Yeah, and it was just, that was the worst play. But there was more other plays that the guy, he wasn't coping with Saka. There was no way. And yeah, that's right side, Arsenal's right side, too strong, especially with Odegaard in. But
it reminded me. Yeah. By the way, it reminded me, do you remember when Ozil scored that goal in the Champions League when he just put people on the floor?
One. Yeah.
It was
like,
yeah.
Even Eric Cantona says that that's one of his favorite goals of all time, like Champions League goals.
And it also reminded me of that famous photo of Ozil with David Luiz in tears on the floor, like, and Ozil was standing over him. For me, that was Saka, what he did to that Sporting player, man. He made him.
The Uruguayan guy, the Maxi Araújo. So you can see the risks of having three at the back and then the wingers. Sometimes you get exposed like that if you have like a strong-sided team like Arsenal's right side. I imagine if maybe Madrid with Vini, they would do also a lot of damage if we don't have a proper side player. I'll see how Amorim does with
because you play 3-4-3, right?
Yeah,
that's what you're playing yesterday. 3-4-3. Yeah.
It's a good formation, but Arteta.
I love what you said, H, about champagne football. So, like, how do we make sure we play like that ongoing? And if we play like that, do you think we're still back in the title race?
I think, look, Martin Odegaard is the system. He's not a man in the system. He's not made for the system. He is the system, you know, like, what's it? Heisenberg in Breaking Bad. I am the danger. Like, Martin Odegaard is the system.
He's the danger.
He's the danger. Like I think it's one of those things where how one player kind of elevates everyone. And the fact that he's the captain, I think that speaks a lot. How Champagne football can keep being played the rest of the season. I think, keeping Odegaard fit. What we need to do is actually figure out how to play without him. And that, I think, is something that we need to go into the summer market. I'm looking at players which we mentioned in the previous recording, Vitinha being one of them, and maybe other players out there that, you know, when we look at City, we look at when they had David Silva, and Bernardo Silva, and, you know, and they had all these like KDB, they had all these players that if one is out, the job can still be done by another. And then, so I think it's figuring that out maybe in the summer again, like next big transfer window. But this season, really, it's about, you know, keeping our players fit. When all our players are fit, we're probably one of the best teams in the world. You know, like, I want to play Man City tomorrow, you know, because we will wreck.
Don't do that to Pep.
You know,
don't do that to Pep. I don't know if you noticed. He was even, man. Did you hear what he said, man? He's like, I want to hurt myself. I was like, yo, Pep, relax, man.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah. That was a bit too far.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think Martin Odegaard staying fit. I think, yes, him as well, but I think Thomas Partey as well. Like, Thomas Partey has become, I think he's player of the season at the moment, in my opinion. You know, yes, Gabriel and Saka, you know, yeah, but dude, Thomas Partey has been consistent in all the games. And he has been playing like nearly all the games, even at right back. You know, when he played right back, he was good. You know?
No. So, I'm with you, except right back. Please don't put him there. Don't say it's good, just in case Arteta hears
I'm just saying.
He was terrible at right back. Terrible. Play him in midfield.
But I also don't like seeing him right back, but I don't know what H means.
I don't know if he got new legs. I don't know what new eating patterns or new coaching.
His composure, man. He's more like elegant on the ball. He just moves well. Like, he doesn't.
This is the Atletico Madrid party, man.
Smart.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw, there's an interview from Zinchenko. And Zinchenko's been doing a lot of interviews. Huh? He's doing more interviews than playing for us. But he did this one interview when someone asked him about Thomas Partey or Rodri, about technique. And I was like, this guy, what's he smoking? He said that Thomas Partey, in terms of on the ball, is like, Partey's better. And I was like, dude, of course he must have recorded this before the Ballon d'Or, you know? Unless he's voting for Vinicius, I don't know. How can you say Thomas Partey is like at the same level or better than Rodri? But actually, he has been our best player. He's been our best midfielder for sure. Yeah. Like, and I'm starting to see
much
a
better
little
than
bit.
Rice. Yeah.
Rice.
Rice is becoming a little bit of an issue for me.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
That 105 million to come into my mind, you know, like
no,
you always forget a player's fee. No, but for me, when a player's playing bad, that's what I remember the fee, because I'm like 105 million, and you can't pass the ball forward, and you can't shoot like and those corners.
That's it. So for me, I look at it in a way. I don't even look at price, to be honest, because then you can go into like the Pepe, rabbit hole.
Oh my God.
But I think for me with Rice, my issue is that you kind of want to see some improvement, and that's where my worry kind of lies. As in, how can he step up? How can he like keep pushing, like and showing a little bit more? And maybe that's me being harsh, and maybe just needs a little bit more of that time. Broken toe, a lot of injuries, midfield being a bit all over the place. So I'll reserve my judgment for the end of the year. But it's just like until now, I just think he hasn't got going yet. And I hope he does, because we're gonna need him for sure. In a lot of games, especially now, December period, January, a lot of games coming in. And it's just a little bit of a concern for me.
I would bench him this weekend just to let him rest and think about his life.
Marino. Yeah.
We need Rice for Man United.
Yeah.
I would put Jorginho this weekend. I would put Partey and Jorginho this weekend, man.
Yeah, it's West Ham away. West Ham are not the David Moyes West Ham. They seem weaker. I think it's still Bowen, and I don't know if Kudos will play. I think his match bans are over. He had a violent conduct, right?
No, we actually chatted about this. He's suspended still.
Still, it's his third game now.
No
Okay,
Kudos.
that's good.
Man.
Good for us.
No Kudos.
Great for us. Great news, because I was like, oh, if Kudos plays, he can cause some problems. But I think we should be winning this. And then we have Man United, where I think we need to make another statement.
Bro,
time is now, man.
I was hoping, could we not just save those goals from yesterday? Like, just beat Sporting 2-0. It's
1-0. Yeah, exactly.
1-0. Can we not save those goals for Man United, man? Hey.
That was good, man. There's a silver lining to that, man. Good lesson for João Pereira and momentum, morale for Arsenal, man. And by the way, Partey, there's Cup of Nations, nah, in January, right?
Make the Ghana team. Probably will, looking at his form. You probably will make that team. I think he's the only. We used to have El Neni that used to go away as well. I think Partey is the only one. Look, we're gonna lose Partey, but I think we've got enough troops to cover that.
Rice will probably be up in form.
Yeah, hopefully, and you'll need to step up.
Liverpool, Man City this weekend. Who do you hope gets the points
this weekend? Either a draw or City wins, because Liverpool has to slow down, man. Yeah.
It's an Anfield. It's an
Anfield.
So tough game for City. Huh? Very tough game, especially with the form that they're in.
Yeah.
A draw for me would be a wonderful result.
Exactly.
City win, and I'll be dancing. I think, because Liverpool just need to be humbled a little bit, in the words of Holland. They need to just slow down a little bit. Not at their best. Yeah, let's hope for a draw, because, City is like a sleeping beast.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why.
If they get points off, that's great, yeah.
You saw Salah gave his interview. Huh? Salah doesn't speak to the press. It's only his third time ever. And he said he still hasn't been offered a contract. So he's pissed off. And he's going to go away for AFCON. That's their goals going. Trent Alexander-Arnold still doesn't have a new contract. It ends end of the season, and Real Madrid is fishing. Van Dijk doesn't have a new contract. So I feel like the second half of the season, Liverpool might be having a lot of interpersonal problems there. And I feel like they will eventually run out of ideas, and every coach eventually has a moment, But I feel like if City, the beast, wakes up, because they've been bad, but we're still behind them.
Yeah, from February to May, it's the City train. They just go. Yeah. Yeah.
Haaland scoring 25 goals. You know what I mean? Like, we just need them. I don't know. I would, even worst case scenario, I think I'm still happier to lose the title to Liverpool than I am to lose to City. But what about you guys?
Nah, dude. Nah. If Liverpool win, it's bad for us, man. I'm sorry. It's bad for us because it's it'll be a bit embarrassing, man. A coach that just comes in first season and wins it. It's what the hell? Look, okay, you can say those are Klopp's players, though. You can say those are Klopp's players, but yeah, that will hurt, especially because we were so close last season, so close. And so for me, it's draw would be the result, but I think no matter what the result is, whether Liverpool wins, draw, or Man City lost, we've got to do our job. We've got to beat West Ham. We've got to cut into that goal difference, get some goals on the board, get some more confidence, get Wanyeri playing some more minutes, because we're already 4-0 up at halftime.
Guys, now that we're playing well, I can finally ask it, because sometimes I think I'm being too negative. Do you guys see us winning a Premier League and a Champions League in the next 3 to 4 years?
Yes, full stop. I think there's one or two missing in the puzzle, and that's around depth, because it's long seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we on the right way. We're nearly there. I think we're not there yet. It's a possibility because we came so close, and we're looking at the way the team, when everyone is fit, what that team is. It's call the ambulance, but not for me situation. Except when it's funny, I'm relaxed at 0-0, but if we go 1-0 up, I start stressing.
I noticed yesterday, Sporting scored 3-1. You're like, I'm getting stressed. I'm
exactly.
Like, hey,
Yeah, I'm getting stressed. I was getting stressed at 3-1, and that's my Arsenal PTSD,
H-Dub still remembers that Newcastle 4-0 to 4-4, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's what City are going through. We need to get that Premier League. We do. Also, from the players that we have point of view, we need to wrap up that Premier League. have it in the bag. I'm a big believer in, if we get that first trophy, even Carabao, if we get that first success, these guys are gonna go on to like win much more. I have a feeling that it's almost, the first one is always the hardest, and we learned from missing out the past 2 seasons, especially last season. The first one's always the hardest, but I think once we get that first one, I think it's yeah.
So you are also like, some people don't count that FA Cup Arteta already won. What are we missing to get to the promised land?
The thing with Arsenal, and we've had this problem for a while. Like I think almost ever since I started being an Arsenal fan, is having every player 100%, not many injuries on key players. But when we do have most of the team good, man, we demolish. But we do need a few more players for backup. But I still believe, I see the young prospects we got. Yeah, there's good potential for backup there. But we should get more players. But for now...
So now Jay Nova is hired as the new sporting director. Who are you getting? Take us to the promised land.
I think at the back we good. Besides, okay, those two are too good. We don't have like anyone at their level, Gabriel and Saliba. But field, maybe another guy. Oh, by the way, like some players from Sporting that I would point out. Our captain Martin Newman is like a Rice kind of guy. That guy's really good. Martin Newman is a good voice behind the team. It makes sense. It's second season. He's a foreigner. He already speaks decent Portuguese, and he's got good spirit. You saw what he did with Diomande when he got a yellow card.
Yeah, and I saw. I watched his interview, and I was like surprised. I was like, whoa, like, you know, this guy speaks very well.
So glad you mentioned him, because I've been waiting just from the 2-3 games I've watched of Sporting to see like what other people think. I was even joking yesterday saying all the blondes for Sporting play well. That guy did one pass. He did one pass yesterday. I like let a sigh of frustration, because it made me realize everything I've been hating about Rice this season. When the Sporting captain received the ball, there was this one pass. He received the ball, turned, and he just made this one pass straight to the striker. Like it went straight to Gyökeres. And it made me think, I don't think I've seen Rice get the ball, turn, and make one pass to Havertz like once this season. I don't think
he does like that. That's annoying.
Yeah, like it's true. Odegaard comes back and passes. Have you guys seen we get a ball and Rice just puts one straight pass to Havertz? He can do the cross one to Saka. I must give Rice some credits. I don't want to bash him, broken toe and all that. He does sometimes some crosses to Saka. But I've never seen him get the ball, turn, and just immediately pass it straight to the striker. It was like in 2 passes, Sporting went from defense to the ball was with Gyökeres, and I was like, whoa, what's that? Like, I've never seen this, you know?
Yeah, sometimes the transitions are really quick. And Trincão as well. I was going to say those two. Trincão, the guy improved. He improved so much. So, Human would be like a backup for the midfield. Trincão would be kind of like a backup for Odegaard. But he's more offensive.
You told us about Gyökeres is worth 100, but now you're leaving him out. Also, you're only buying players from Sporting. I don't know. We gotta fire you, Jay Nova, as a Sporting director.
We got a 10 hag here.
Now, Gyökeres is like, if you're gonna buy someone from Sporting, buy Gyökeres, buy no one else, because it's too expensive. But we already mentioned them, and we already know, like, he's the star guy. We already know his qualities, and we mentioned them earlier. I still stand behind him, of course, but he's that one big investment, you know, that's like, okay, we're going for Gyökeres, okay, this is the plan. But Hulman and Trincão, I think they would be, you know, more reachable. But
yeah, I think we still need to fill in. Ron Nuno will know about this. We're missing a number 1 top striker, you know.
Yeah, number 1 top striker. That's the Gyökeres.
Yeah, so we always say. That's what we always say. Like
else.
A guy who, you know, is in the room, unlike Nketiah, but will kind of like really put the ball in the net, you know, abuse defenders, wind them up, run away from them, want to get into the fight with them, and make space for the Odegaards and Sakas to run about and to have different options. You know, we always, in Premier League especially, we always play against these teams who put 5 behind the ball, you know, 6 behind the ball, and that's all they want to do until they have a breakaway, right? So much that there's even big teams now going to start doing that against us, because you know, that's the only way to stop us from scoring many goals. But I have to give credit to Sporting. They've looked good this season in the league, even in the Champions League, and I gotta also give them credit for not playing, the dog shit football and, changing tactics and becoming this defensive, especially at home, believing in their tactics, believing in their philosophy and actually coming out and playing, There's other teams that have been like, hey, no, 5, you're staying there. We're going to play deep.
Like Porto. Like Porto played against us.
Yeah, like Porto did. Porto played against us like that, We're going to play deep. We're going to stay there. We're going to make this the most boring game ever, right?
So HW is sounding like Pep, huh? You know how Pep, he beats teams 5-1 and he's like, I love how they played and I congratulate them for being courageous. Now we understand why. Now we understand why.
Guys, so beautiful, guys.
I need that.
Yeah.
You're right. But I guess one last question about Gyökeres. Another thing that we need besides a player that moves around in the system, we're set pieces FC. I need to know, is he good at set pieces? Follow-up question. We also need to press. Because you see, like Havertz, what people don't realize, a lot of people, like I used to also not be a Havertz believer, but now I am. He does a lot of hard work off the ball. Can we trust Gyökeres to do those two things as well, besides scoring goals?
The set pieces, well, Sporting has, on set pieces we've been weak. So Gyökeres actually scored the first set piece in Sporting for like 4 years, and they had to be him. But he's not a set piece taker, I would say. He takes good
Headers,
penalties.
he's a big boy. Headers?
Headers is not his strong suit. He scored some headers, but it's not his strong suit.
His price is dropping, huh? I'm with you now, 60.
We're around 60, bro. I really think it's Isak, to be honest. I think it'll depend on how Newcastle do if they get a 4th for Champions League. And I think Isak playing with Odegaard again, Merino, it's the San Sebastian connection there. They know each other, and I think Arteta likes tall players. I'm saying either or because I think our foundation is great, and when your foundation is great, I think it's much easier decisions because we want to sign a player that's actually going to do the job and push us a bit more with goals. Everything around that is already great. Everything around that is already in place. The defenders, the fullbacks, the defensive midfield, and we're gonna deal with creative midfield, I hope so. But I have a question for you, Fabio. How do we get Odegaard and Nwaneri to play together?
Unfortunately, for it to really work, I think it's gonna require a bit of training. But Nwaneri is a young player, and if he learns the off-the-ball side, for me, this 4-3-3 rather than 4-2-3-1 with Nwaneri has the left 8 against teams that we're meant to dominate. You know what I mean? I'm not saying to do that against Man United, even though we will dominate them, but against a lower table team, even though Man United is also a lower table team. Almost like how Fabregas, when he started, he was playing with Vieira and Gilberto Silva. So I'm hoping he becomes our left 8, because next season, I want to see Odegaard start every game, but I also want to see Nwaneri start like at least half of the games.
Jeez, it seems like a lifetime ago that young Cesc Fabregas came onto the scene, burst onto the scene.
Baller.
Can we kill off games early that we can actually rest our captain as well?
Yeah, I've got to keep the momentum for Arsenal, man. Got to keep this momentum going. We didn't have that earlier on, and it feels like something good is going on. And just keep it up.
Players are back. Smiles are on faces. Smiles are on fans' faces. A month ago, it was looking pretty rough. I think we're on the right course. A great win. Let's keep it going. West Ham next and Man United. So happy days, man. Happy days.
Happy days.